In the summer of 1911, a luxury steam train owned by the Zanetti company rolled out of station in Rome, Italy. On board were 106 passengers and crew, all wealthy tourists enjoying a scenic ride through the beautiful Italian countryside. The highlight of the trip was supposed to be the crossing of a brand-new, state-of-the-art mountain tunnel in Lombardy. As the train approached the dark entrance of the tunnel, spectators watched it disappear inside. But then, something impossible happened. The train never came out of the other side. A massive search party rushed into the tunnel, expecting a crash or a technical failure. But they found absolutely nothing. No train, no debris, and no sign of the passengers. It was as if the tracks inside led to nowhere. Today, we are diving into the unedited, terrifying files of the world's most famous ghost train. The search teams didn't find the train, but they did find 2 passengers wandering near the tunnel entrance. Both men were in a deep state of shock, trembling with fear and unable to speak for hours. When doctors finally managed to calm them down, their story shocked everyone. They said that as the train entered the new tunnel, the ambient sound suddenly vanished, and a strange, impossibly thick white fog began to leak out of the mountain walls. This fog wrapped around the train like a blanket, and a low, terrifying hum filled the air. Sensing that something was horribly wrong, these 2 passengers panicked and jumped off the moving train just before it vanished completely into the deep mist. They claimed that the train simply dissolved into the white fog, moving forward into a complete void. The Italian authorities were completely baffled by the incident. There was no smoke, no fire, and no physical way for a massive steel train to disappear inside a straight mountain tunnel. Because the public grew absolutely terrified, the railway company decided to completely seal the tunnel. They blocked the entrance with heavy stone and concrete, and during World War II, a bombing raid completely destroyed the mountain pass, burying the secret forever. But while the physical evidence was gone, the story didn't end there. Years later, researchers digging into historical files discovered something even more bizarre. The Zanetti train hadn't just vanished from the year 1911. It had supposedly appeared somewhere else, in a completely different century. In the 1980s, an investigator named Ivan Pachenko found a strange medical record from an asylum in Mexico City, dated all the way back to the year 1840. The record stated that 104 Italians had suddenly appeared in the city out of nowhere. All of them were dressed in high-quality, strange clothing that didn't match the fashion of 1840. When questioned by the local authorities, these people claimed they had arrived on a massive steel steam train from Rome. But in 1840, steam passenger trains didn't even exist in Rome, let alone a railway track crossing the Atlantic Ocean. The Mexican authorities assumed the entire group had suffered from shared, violent madness and locked them away. Could the Zanetti train have slipped through a rip in time, throwing its passengers 70 years into the past? Throughout the 20th century, the legend of the 3-car Zanetti train grew even more mysterious. In 1955, a railway worker in Ukraine reported seeing a vintage, old-fashioned train moving along the tracks without any schedule. The train had closed window curtains, its brass fixtures looked brand new, but there was no driver in the cockpit. The worker swore the train matched the description of the missing 1911 Italian model perfectly. Similar sightings were reported by seasoned conductors in Russia and Germany over the next few decades. Skeptics argue that these are just urban legends created by railway enthusiasts, but many physicists look at the Zanetti story as a potential case of a spontaneous time slip, a mechanical object trapped in a loop, moving across different eras of our history. Whether the Zanetti train truly slipped into a rip in time or became the ultimate historical myth, the story continues to captivate millions. 106 people went into a mountain tunnel for a routine tourist ride and stepped straight into eternity. The tunnel is gone. The tracks are buried, but the phantom train remains one of the greatest unexplained anomalies of the modern era. Thank you for watching this full documentary. If you love raw history and deep, unedited mysteries, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment with the word train below to show you made it to the end, and I will see you in the next one.